Hello. In this short video, podcast as you wish, I want to talk a little bit about what it is to study photography. It's a strange subject, photography, because in a way it's actually quite simple. As Nadar would say, you could teach photography in an afternoon, but it takes a lifetime to work out what it actually is. So, why do you study photography? Well, you study photography to have an understanding of how you wish to see the world, literally, but in two senses. One, what do you want to point your camera at? And secondly, why do you want to point it at it? What is your understanding of the world? There is no point running into a war scene and not knowing what you want to photograph. Equally, if you're photographing making portraits, you have to have an understanding why you're making portraits. For example, it's quite easy to make an image of a woman. As a heterosexual man, it's a simple thing. You photograph a woman to desire her. But is that a portrait? Probably not. It's a picture of a woman, but is it a portrait? And this is why it's very difficult, in fact, to do that. I'm thinking of Annie Leibovitz pictures, where she can actually give you some sense of what it is to be that person. So you have to work out what you're looking at. A lot of photographers moving away from the simple desire of photographing your lover or your friend, try and look for certain things. What does it mean to be a writer? What does it mean to be an actor? What does it mean to be a man of power? What does it mean to be a woman of mercy? Or whatever way you want to do it, a woman of power, a man of mercy, whatever. But you're looking for that little extra that gives you something to tell the viewer. Because we must always remember there are three people in a photograph. One, the photographer. Two, the viewer. And third, or the actual subject, of course. Because it is a dance between you and the subject to make the portrait. If you can't make that dance, if you can't join in the waltz, Ballad of Sexual Dependency is a great example of a photographer using that dance to do that, then your pictures become merely snapshots. It's not easy to do this, which is why there are very few good photographers. I was looking at the current edition of Vanity Fair and looking at the 3 or 4 war photographers they pick up to. And the one that I like is this one of Don McCullin by Sean Thomas. And in the picture, you can see that Thomas has captured the intensity of Don McCullin. A man troubled, as we know, but the best war photographer Britain has had. Probably one of the best war photographers, as the article suggests, of the last century or so. So Thomas is a photographer who tries and gets to the very essence of what it is to be a photographer. The essence of both the photographer and the photographed. That is something you need to do. It takes time, it's energy. You need to work out what you want to photograph. I think that Thomas is one who does that. Leibovitz certainly is another person who does that. She understands why she's photographing sometimes. Unlike all photographers, when you forget that why, when you become merely a camera for pay, then sometimes the pictures work. And this is the point that I perhaps want to leave, is that you must have your personal project. You must have something in here in which you can put yourself. Yes, have work that people pay you for. Shaking, cutting a check, a baby running, whatever. But you must have a personal project. There must be something in there of you. The point is that once you have these pictures, once you have the essence of what it is to be you, then you can show it to people. And then it becomes something, say, oh, hey, I like that work. Why don't you do it for me? Why don't you go photograph something similar? And that's the way you get started. So you must always have an idea, a project in hand, something to do. So I leave you with that. Try and find the essence of the person and try and do something personal. And that might lead to something worthwhile. See you later.